What does work look like today? The perfect storm of capitalism and the pandemic has revealed the uglier side of work, how profit is valued over people, and how wealth is pushing the community apart instead of bringing us together. Imagine a future of work where this isn't the case. Imagine if community lies at the heart of why we work. One of the young future leaders who will reshape this narrative is Omar, although he doesn't know it yet. Omar is a second-year master's student studying business at Berkeley. He's a first-generation child of an immigrant family from Senegal. He grew up helping his parents serve tables and wash dishes at his family's restaurant. He battled his way into business school to make a name for himself and his family, and to fulfill their definition of success. And just like 400,000 other business students this year, Omar is learning about maximizing profits, scaling supply chains, and growing businesses that will span across the globe. He's taught to be ultra-competitive, building his network with CEOs and big shot professors, racing to the top, where he believes he'll find his own purpose and meaning behind his work. But deep down, when Omar thinks of business, he feels lost. Throughout the pandemic, he saw people lose and leave their jobs in massive waves. He sees his own family struggle to make a living wage. He hears about the terrible conditions where service workers toil with minimal breaks for minimum wage, where powerful companies value profit over people. He feels confused about the future. Will people always feel angry, mistreated, and bitter about work? Strolling out of class one evening, Omar catches sight of an intriguing poster in the campus hallway. The Tomorrow Challenge, a futures challenge for business students just like him, hosted by the Institute for the Future down in South Bay. He's curious but not committed, and he's pulled away by his classmates. Rainbow Grocery, where his parents had taken him every weekend when he was a boy, finds locally grown fresh herbs for their signature Senegalese cultural dishes. He's reminded that Rainbow partners with the Bay Area community of local Senegalese farmers to sell their high-quality produce. But back at home that night, thinking about his post-grad future, Omar browses LinkedIn as he explores the job landscape, full of stress and confusion about the future. He scrolls and is surprised to find a video posted by the Tomorrow Challenge featuring an entry by a UMichigan student with an idea for a food truck pop-up run by the community for the community. The idea of community sparks his interest, and a flashback to his boyhood overtakes him. When he returns back to reality, Omar is driven by curiosity and emotion. He taps into the LinkedIn post for the Tomorrow Challenge, and he's greeted by a stunning teaser video for the challenge. It invites him to reimagine the future of work and explore the possibilities of what could be. As Omar explores the website, he learns about the 6 principles of equity and delves into examples of existing equitable businesses. Through the website's case studies, he recognizes some of the local businesses around him, including Rainbow Grocery, spotlighted for their years-long effort in fostering community and shared ownership. Curious to see beyond the UMichigan video on LinkedIn, Omar dives into some past finalists' entries. His world is rocked by diverse, future-forward ideas for businesses that he'd never imagined could exist. He is deeply inspired by the work of business students just like him, and is motivated by the prospect of relearning business from a community lens. Omar encourages 3 classmates to enter the challenge with him. He shows them the 6 principles of equity and the case studies of local examples right in their backyard in the Bay Area. They're fascinated by the opportunity to build up their resume and win a futuring workshop with the world's top futurists. They check out the current prompt, which invites them to think beyond the now to the year 2032, where they can reimagine a business of contracted gig economy workers. The team is excited about the open-ended prompt and enter the challenge together, creating a workspace for them to start an idea that can make a future impact. The Tomorrow Challenge prompts them to focus on a principle of equity as the foundation of their idea. They choose labor, reimagining how profit can be equitably distributed across gig workers. Omar is deeply inspired by Rainbow's successful efforts in partnering with local farmers and centers his idea around the agriculture and food industry. Over the span of 2 weeks, the team creates Our Garden, imagining an urban vegetable garden that thrives from the labor of gig farmers, where profits are shared across all farmers that have contributed to growing local crops. Omar and his team film a 2-minute elevator pitch for the final submission and contextualize their idea with trends that they can see around them to provide evidence for their solution. They submit their idea and celebrate their hard work. After a few weeks, Omar receives an email from the Tomorrow Challenge, which lets him know that his team are finalists and invites them to pitch their idea to a panel at Institute for the Future for the opportunity to receive advice from futurists and funding from real investors. They also earn a unique LinkedIn Futurist badge and a certificate for achievement in future-forward business. Omar and his team are passionate about their solution and plan to take their idea forward after they graduate, building a meaningful career after their MBA. Their idea also lives forever on the Tomorrow Challenge website, inspiring other students to join in on imagining the future of work. Now, the year is 2032. Omar is a proud co-founder of Our Garden, which has since grown to 50 gig farmers that thrive off of shared profits and a shared passion for local gardening. Farmers have a distinct and personal focus on cultural ingredients from Africa, South America, and more. Supported by investors and a close network of futurists, Omar now finds purpose in placing community at the heart of why he works. We're the in-betweeners, and we'd like to share how we got here. How did the Tomorrow Challenge become our final solution? Our community partner, Iftf, has a mission with the Equitable Enterprises Initiative to inspire a greater mindset shift towards equity in future workplaces. They're currently working on toolkits and featuring frameworks to advocate for the adoption of equitable practices by entrepreneurs, policymakers, and business decision makers. So our team began with stakeholder mapping and envisioning the ecosystem of equitable businesses. We pivoted 6 times, focusing on different target audiences with different leverage points, from targeting high schoolers with interactive AR walks through co-ops, to internal Iftf researchers with collaboration and advocacy tools, to entrepreneurs with storied examples of co-op workers. We attempted to prove it or pivot by interviewing and testing each opportunity with subject matter experts and target audiences, pivoting when there was evidence that a design did not promise the impact that we envisioned. During this semester, one of our main ideas was an equity score for businesses on LinkedIn, which we pivoted from after feedback from a senior design manager at LinkedIn. We'll now dive into our process after identifying our final target audience of business school students. The rest of our process will live in our appendix for your reference. Working with Iftf, we were inspired by their early collaboration with UMichigan students, which created video pitches for future-forward business ideas. We had an early idea to introduce equitable futures into existing business school curriculums, inspiring a mindset shift from the academia space. We connected with Nathan Shedroff, the founder of the DMBA program at CCA, to understand how feasible this was. But he informed us that business education moves slowly and changes need to go through many layers of bureaucracy. Measurable impact would not be feasible in a short time. So Nathan advised that our solution could exist as a unique entrepreneurship exercise outside of business school curriculums. Iftf had already defined 6 principles that served as the foundation of equity. So our team used these 6 principles to design a project-based challenge separate from business curriculums with a focus on the future. We named it the Tomorrow Challenge. Equipped with Iftf's research, our team focused on constructing and defining the components and mechanics of the challenge that would work to educate and inspire collaboration among students. How would we translate Iftf's work to tap into a new audience? How would the prompts work? How could the 6 principles serve as both guidelines and constraints? What featuring tools and frameworks could back this up? To test early prototypes with our intended audience, we approached an MBA student asking for feedback and gauging her interest in the challenge. As she had direct experience participating in business case competitions in the past, she helped us validate content from a business student perspective. And most recently, we connected with a subject matter expert who created the Halt Business Challenge. He gave us valuable feedback on how to structure the Tomorrow Challenge and design the judging criteria. For our next steps, our team will plan to scale the Tomorrow Challenge by introducing a wider, ongoing range of prompts, partnering with a network of incubators and VCs to fund equitable business ideas, and place a deeper focus on marginalized communities through our prompts. So, if you're a business student, or a gig worker, or a community leader, or a mom and pop shop, or even a CEO of a global brand, the future of work doesn't have to be bleak or set in stone. It's yours to build. So, what are you waiting for? Let's reimagine tomorrow.
Imagine